Imagine waking up in a world where every sunrise isn't just the start of a new day, but a sacred gift. This was life for the Cherokee people, where tradition, nature, and community were woven into every breath they took. The Cherokee, one of the largest Native American tribes, lived in the southeastern woodlands of North America. Their homeland stretched across what is now North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama. To truly understand their life, we must first step into their villages, bustling with family, work, and ritual. Cherokee villages were carefully organized. At the center stood the council house, a circular structure where leaders gathered to make decisions, settle disputes, and conduct ceremonies. Surrounding it were the homes of families, typically built from logs and covered with clay or bark. These homes were warm in winter and cool in summer, a reflection of their knowledge of the land. Each morning, Cherokee men and women would rise with the sun. Men prepared for hunting, while women worked in the gardens or tended to children. But their roles were never considered unequal. In fact, Cherokee society was deeply matrilineal. Lineage was traced through the mother's line, and women held tremendous influence in decision-making. For the Cherokee, food was more than survival. It was a spiritual connection to the earth. Their staple crops were known as the Three Sisters: corn, beans, and squash. These crops grew together, supporting one another just as the people did. Corn stalks provided structure for bean vines to climb, while squash leaves shaded the soil, protecting it from the sun. Women were the primary agriculturalists, cultivating vast fields of corn and vegetables. Men hunted deer, bear, and small game, often leaving for days at a time to track animals through the forest. Fishing was also common, using weirs and traps to catch river fish. Meals were communal, and food preparation was an art. Corn was ground into meal to make bread or porridge, while beans and squash provided hearty stews. In times of celebration, feasts brought villages together. Singing, dancing, and storytelling would continue late into the night. The Cherokee believed the world was alive with spirit. Rivers, mountains, animals, and even the wind carried meaning. Balance was the guiding principle of their worldview. Harmony between people, nature, and the unseen forces of the universe. Ceremonies were a vital part of life. The green corn ceremony was among the most important, marking the harvest and renewal of life. People purified themselves with fasting, dancing, and ritual cleansing. Fire, representing the eternal flame of the sun, burned at the center of their spiritual practices. Cherokee medicine men and women played a crucial role in community health. They combined herbal knowledge with prayer and ceremony, treating not just the body, but the spirit. Every illness was seen as a disruption in balance, and healing was about restoring harmony. Cherokee society was built on clans. There were 7 clans in total, each with unique responsibilities and traditions. Clans were matrilineal, meaning children belonged to their mother's clan, not their father's. This shaped marriage customs too. People could not marry within their own clan, ensuring unity across the tribe. Children grew up surrounded by stories. Elders were the keepers of history and tradition, passing down legends that taught moral lessons, cultural values, and survival skills. Around fires, children listened to tales of animals, spirits, and heroes. These stories weren't just entertainment. They were the threads of identity. Women held significant authority in Cherokee life. They controlled the land, the homes, and the crops. In council, their voices carried weight, and in times of war, the beloved women could decide the fate of prisoners. This balance of power was unusual compared to European societies of the same period. Men, meanwhile, were protectors, hunters, and warriors. But bravery wasn't defined by violence alone. It was measured by one's ability to serve the community. Whether providing food, defending the village, or honoring spiritual traditions, men's contributions reflected their devotion to the tribe. For the Cherokee, every part of life was a story, one that tied them to the earth, to their ancestors, and to the stars above. But what made their way of life so unique, even among other tribes? The Cherokee were highly skilled artisans. They wove baskets from river cane and carved tools, masks, and pipes from wood and stone. Their pottery was decorated with intricate designs, often telling stories of the people and their connection to nature. Clothing was made from deer skin, softened and decorated with beads or painted with natural dyes. Later, when trade with Europeans increased, the Cherokee incorporated cloth, silver, and new materials into their clothing, yet always in ways that preserved their identity. Language was another pillar of culture. The Cherokee language is complex and rich, with deep spiritual and cultural meanings embedded in its words. In the 19th century, Sequoyah created the Cherokee syllabary, a written system that allowed the language to be preserved and shared. But even before this invention, oral storytelling kept the culture alive. Cherokee life moved with the seasons. In spring, they planted. In summer, they tended crops and gathered berries. Autumn was the season of harvest and preparation, while winter brought storytelling and reflection. This cyclical rhythm wasn't just practical, it was spiritual. Each season reminded them of the cycle of life, death, and renewal. The land provided, but it demanded respect and care in return. Of course, no account of the Cherokee people is complete without acknowledging their struggles. In the 18th and 19th centuries, European colonization brought disease, conflict, and displacement. Despite this, the Cherokee adapted with resilience, building schools, adopting new technologies, and yet holding firmly to their traditions. The forced removal, known as the Trail of Tears, remains one of the most tragic chapters in their history. Thousands of Cherokee were driven from their homelands to Oklahoma in the 1830s, suffering immense loss. Yet, even in the face of devastation, their culture endured. Today, the Cherokee Nation remains strong, with communities working to preserve language, traditions, and identity. The life of the Cherokee tribe was more than a way of surviving. It was a way of honoring every part of existence. From the crops they planted, to the songs they sang, to the sacred stories they carried forward, the Cherokee remind us that true strength lies in balance, respect, and resilience. If you found this journey into Cherokee life inspiring, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who love history and culture, and subscribe for more stories of Native American heritage. By learning together, we keep these traditions alive.